Hey, it's Tim Fargo again, and this is round 2 here of my social media success series. And yesterday we talked about setting up a goal line, kind of what you're on social media to do, right? And that is absolutely the number one thing to do, and then figuring out a theme that you're going to use to support that goal, to bring people to what you're trying to do. So today we're going to get a little more tactical, and you'll notice we're still not doing anything to do with Social Jukebox. I want to focus more on the things that it takes to succeed. It's great to have a tool and that supports a platform you're working with, and that's super helpful. Obviously, I'm a believer in that. But before you even get there, okay, so the next step in this is getting the content that will support that audience, right? So let's say, for instance, that you provide support services for podcasters, and by shorthand, that would mean you're kind of a sound engineer, all right? So what you basically do is you take the audio clips and you get all the ums and ahs that, like I'm doing in this video, and you take those things out of there, right? So you clean up the recording. This is your reason for being, let's assume in this hypothetical example. So this person now needs to convey to their audience that they are somebody who really understands podcasting and understands why it's important to have quality. So they're going to need to come up with content that supports this idea. If it was me and I was doing this job, what I would do is I would go out and I would get content that supports the idea of, like, right off the bat, one of the things I think about is it's super important to be a successful podcast. Yes, the sound quality is absolutely super important, and that's why you need a sound engineer. But if you're busy as the podcaster doing that work, you're spending less time on developing the actual content. And that's a bit of a problem because you only have so many hours in a day, so you need to focus on your kind of core mission. And that would be the kind of content we're focusing on, what's most important to the audience. And that being, like, let's say if you do an interview show, that interview is going to be the critical piece of content. So again, this person who's trying to sell podcasting support services needs to sort of help their audience understand what it is, how it benefits them. And other content that would be helpful is just sharing other tips, right? Don't just share about what you do. Share other podcasting tips, new microphones that come out for podcasting, new audio techniques that come out for podcasting, hot trends, ways to get better SEO for your podcast, ways to get better ratings in iTunes. There's a million different little things. So let's talk about, what does this mean for you? What you need to do is figure out what those pieces of content are related to what you have decided is your mission for social media, right? So you need the content that supports that. And to get started, instead of going off into a room somewhere and trying to come up with a ton of content, because it takes time. So what you need to do is curate. Instead of create, you need to curate. You need to go out and find some content that you feel confident would be a value add to your audience. And sometimes people have a little bit of an allergy to using other people's content to support their feed, and this is really, don't think that way. Okay, what a brand is, okay, and that's really what you're doing in social media. You're branding yourself. A brand is a shortcut to quality, right? So if you can demonstrate that when people click on things in your feed and they get taken to valuable content, they will come back. It's not going to happen overnight, but the first step is getting the quality content in there and not taking shortcuts, and don't get caught up in all the vanity metrics and clickbait nonsense. You need to write decent headlines. That's why things get clicked on, but the headline should actually relate to what the article or podcast or YouTube video is about, right? So you need to come up with that content. So without further ado, I'm going to give you some homework. And that homework is to get 10 solid pieces of content that will help your audience, your potential client base, be better at what they do. Not to better understand what you do, to be better at what they do. You find those 10 pieces of content, and that'll be the next step, and we'll pick up on that in number 3, which will be coming up tomorrow. All right? If you have any questions, you can always reach me at tim@socialjukebox.com. Have an awesome day.